In this video, I'm going to provide an update for the funding for the non-profit security grant program for 2024. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Simon Osmo and a big welcome to you. Now, I received an email from the Secure Community Network, which is an organization that supports the Jewish community in safety and security. Put out some incredible products on threat intelligence, on training and information. And for many years, our Jewish brothers and sisters have been consistently applying for the non-profit security grant program, and they have a lot of information out there. And this week, they sent an email because last week, Congress approved the budget. And what did they do? They slashed the non-profit security grant program in a way most probably to be expected because the country's in a bit of a mess right now. Did we anticipate it was going to go up? I would like it to have. I would hope it would do. But I think a budget cut was most probably inevitable. But what they said was the Jewish Federations of North America and the Orthodox Union issued a joint statement expressing deep concern over Congress's decision to reduce the funding for the non-profit security grant program by $30.5 million for the fiscal year 2024. So at the time of recording this video, yes, the fund is going to be $30.5 million less than what it was last year. However, I always try to look on the bright side with some of these sort of information that comes out and tries to analyze where the government's going to go with this. So we know now that the program for this year is going to be $274,500,000 for 2024. But they released a data set which for me reinforces what I've been saying to you as a house of worship for many years now, that you have an incredible opportunity with this non-profit security grant program. Because one, most often I'm the person educating a non-profit about the grants. And second, not many people apply. They said in their data that in 2023, listen to this, 2023, 42% of people that applied for the non-profit security grant program were successful. Now, I don't really play the Powerball. When I go to the horses, I don't really spend too much money on gambling. Gambling isn't really, so I enjoy gambling, but it's not something I really spend a lot of my money on. However, if I was going into the Powerball and someone said, Simon, your odds of winning are 42%, I would say, let's go all in, baby, because that is very good odds. So yes, the budget has been cut. However, 42% of people that applied in 2023 were successful. So that is a good data set. I want to leave you with 3 things that I would encourage you to consider depending where you are on your journey. Now, number 1 is have a professional security risk assessment completed. This grant is becoming incredibly competitive. They do read your security risk assessment. It is a requirement to apply that you've had a risk assessment completed. A professional risk assessment not only gives you the roadmap to be successful, but it identifies all your vulnerabilities across your technology, across your program, across your physical security, and if done right, it should give you that roadmap at least between 3 to 5 years. So if you have applied, go back and review your risk assessment and make sure you're asking for the right things. If you haven't had a security risk assessment, hold off. This grant isn't going anywhere. Yes, they slashed the budget. You still have time to have a security risk assessment completed and apply in 2025. Now, me and my team travel across the country conducting security risk assessments, not only for nonprofits, but also in the secular world. So if you haven't had a risk assessment before, at the end, I'm going to give you some details where you can reach me if you'd like to have a conversation about having a professional risk assessment completed at your house of worship. The second thing that I would encourage you to do is really remember that this application started in 2004, post 9/11, as a terrorism grant. In around, I was just about COVID times, around most probably 2020, 21-ish, around then. They then added a second category where they said terrorism or other extremist attack. Now, I don't know the theology of your church. What I can tell you is that your views and opinions on transgender, on homosexuality, on gay marriage, on abortion, on the state of immigration in the US, on race and reconciliation, all these different facets that we have are very divisive conversations in today's world. And there are extremist groups on both sides, are there not? There are extremist groups that get very passionate about abortion. There's very extremist groups that are very passionate about giving a woman the right to decide if she can abort her child. So I always encourage people, if you're in New York, and I've got clients in New York, unless you're in New York or in a high terrorism area, like when I worked at Mall of America, no terrorist target, but it's not a non-profit, focus on the other extremist attacks using some of those examples that I provided. This is often a missed opportunity for non-profits because they don't focus on the other extremist attack. And I've just given you some good examples where there's extremists on both sides. The next thing that I want to say is if you do not feel ready for your application, wait and hold off. Now, yes, they've just slashed the funding by, what do we say it was, $30 million. However, this program isn't going away. And the reason why the Secure Community Network sent this literature out was they're incredibly frustrated to say at a time when nonprofits have never been more susceptible to crime, Congress is slashing budgets. But if you don't feel ready, this isn't going away. Take your time, have a professional security risk assessment completed, start to craft your narrative around the threats and the vulnerabilities that you have at your house of worship. As I always recommend, write your application in a Word document so you can tweak and send around. That's how a lot of my clients work. They'll write, they'll send something to me and my team. We review, we make changes, we send it back, we review their application again. So we know that when they're ready, they just need to go to their Word document and they're uploading. So if you do not feel ready, don't rush in with an application because you might get something wrong and your application won't be accepted. Take your time and focus on 2025. And as I mentioned, if there's anything that me and my team can do around this nonprofit security grant, we've been helping churches now for at least 4.5, could even be 5 years around the nonprofit security grant program. And we have a strong success using a methodology that we've crafted over time. So if we can help and support you in any way, please reach out. But again, I want to remind us on the 2023 data, 42% of people that applied were successful. That is not bad odds. But although the budget has been slashed, there is still great opportunity with the Nonprofit Security Grant Program, the Nsgp. If you'd like to learn more, I'll leave my contact details below. But I hope this has encouraged you to not be disheartened by the funding reduction from Congress, but focus as always on what we can do. Put in your strongest application. If you're not ready, wait for 2025. But for now, you stay safe. You have a blessed day. My name is Simon Osimo, and I'll see you in that next video. Take care, everybody.